in goal, coming off a 26-save shutout in his first start of the tournament against Czechia. There is Yorick Trey, who had a moment with France yesterday. The French, Mike, actually had a 3-2 lead against Czechia. They exploded for 3 goals in a span of 4:53 in the second period. Gave Czechia a scare, and that might be a message for Team Canada.
I think Cassie said it best. You want offense, but Canada needs to create their offense by playing good defense. If they focus on how they play without the puck, their puck management, and make smart plays, the talent will eventually overwhelm France. Chasing goals is often not the best way to score goals. So how Canada process that as they go along in this game will be important, how much they can win this game by.
So again, goal differential, the main focus. Unless the French do what they did in 2014 and shock Canada at the World Championships in that game. 3-2 shootout. Stefan DaCosta's in the lineup for France. He had 2 goals. And Pierre-Edouard Bellemare had the shootout decider. For the first time in the tournament, Connor McDavid will face off to start. And back with Tom Wilson and Macklin Celebrini up against the line that kickstarted France yesterday. Bertrand Boudin are on the ice for France, and they tallied all 3 goals against Czechia. Back to the line it goes. Devon Toews sends it wide. Gil Makar played it in behind the net. McDavid looks for it there. McDavid coming off back-to-back 3-point games. Bosk will fire it over the head of Makar down the ice, and both teams make their first changes of the game. Here comes Toews. Nathan McKinnon back at center, at least to start this game. He's got Nick Suzuki on one wing and Brandon Hagel on the other. Here's Suzuki into French territory, and McKinnon with a little tap. Trying to get that to the net. Suzuki comes up with it. Back to Thomas Harley, who scored in the last game. Suzuki puts it right on. Rebound to McKinnon. Here's a Hagel shot. And Julian Junka's got that.
Good starts for Canada, getting the puck in deep, getting to the puck on retrievals, and then getting it down to Junka, who knows he will be very busy throughout this game. Nick Suzuki back on the wing, finds McKinnon dashing through, doesn't get enough quite on that tip to trouble Junka. He's trying to go underneath it and ends up just poking it along the ice.
Off the face-off, Marner whipped it wide. Drew Doughty steps up. Here's Sidney Crosby, who scored against Junka at the World Championships last year. So did Horvat. Crosby trying to put that through off the leg and wide. Early pressure, Marner unable to get that to Stone. Now Crosby, nifty touch, and a shot right on, and Junka got enough of that. Intense pressure to start. Nicholas Ritz for France. He'll hand it off. Pierre Trinant ahead. That's Jordan Perret back in the lineup. Did not play against Czechia yesterday. And here is Perret. Nice move to the inside. Perret going deep into Team Canada territory. Bosk moves up, takes a hit. Sasha Trey, one of those mutants Kevin talked about, a big guy. His brother, the head coach of the team, it'll come back to the line, and Jordan Binnington gets his first touch of the day.
Jordan Binnington had last game off after a really good performance in the first game against Czechia, and he gets his first touch. Not as good as that first touch, though, from Sidney Crosby. Little tip back to Drew Doughty for a point shot. Staying patient will be the order of the day for Canada as this game is scoreless, as they're pushing offensively until they start to score 1 or 2.
Sam Bennett wins the draw. He'll center a line today with his Florida Panther teammate Sam Reinhart, and Seth Jarvis, who caught our eye in his first game against Czechia, or against Switzerland, excuse me. Here come the French down the ice. It's Alex Tessier, and his pass for Bertrand doesn't work.
Too many guys on the ice there for France for about 5 seconds on the rush.
Texier trying to get going offensively. He'll work his way in, gets it knocked off his stick, and Harley will reload with Taves. Rick wide it goes. Celebrini will send it in. Hugo Gallet is back. Harley steps up. McDavid centers. Celebrini took a shot in the chops, and the puck sent back to the Team Canada line. Harley hands it off. Here's Tom Wilson. Junka out to play that. He'll fire that the length of the ice. And that's icing against France.
And Canadian bench erupted there on the high stick up there, Celebrini. And a good defensive play by Sam Reinhart, one of the best defensive wingers in the entire NHL. He's back. He's aware that Bertrand's right behind him. Stick on the ice. Knowing where the pass is coming from and where it's going. Looks for a good defensive player.
So McKinnon, Hagel out on the ice along with Suzuki. McKinnon scored in each game. Suzuki has a goal. But as a unit, they're still looking to gel a little bit more. Doughty fires it in. It'll come around McKinnon. He got checked. Bosk with an outlet. Hagel trying to get it back. McKinnon along the boards. That's trade. Trying to scrape it loose, and it'll come back to the Team Canada line. Doughty and Theodore together right now. Out comes Crosby. Doughty in his third Olympic Games with the pass. Marner got checked along the boards, and back comes France. There's Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. And a shot goes wide. Puck at the side of the net, and it'll come in behind where Bellemare's tied up with Theodore. Back to the line, and that shot with traffic in front. Turned aside by Binnington. Anthony Reck rolling it back in. There's Bellemare. Bumped and knocked down by Doughty. Looking for Crosby, and it rolls out to center ice. French have been outshot 81-38 in the first two games of this tournament. Makar sends it in. After it is Jarvis. Bo Horvat comes out. So Horvat's the 13th forward. Looks like they might shuttle Horvat and Bennett on this fourth line.
So one of the real question marks for Canada coming in, the goaltending. Well, so far, albeit in a very small sample size, save percentage, Canada heads and tails the best. Jordan Binnington was fantastic, followed up by a really good game for Logan Thompson. And playing for Canada, you probably don't see quite as many good chances against, but certainly Jordan Binnington has a knack for rising to the occasion, and this is a big occasion.
And here's a face-off win and a hot shot right on. Junka looks sharp on that. Now Makar. He'll fire it across, looking for Jarvis. Rick wide again. Makar kept it in. Gets a second chance to go to the net. And
caught post.
Went off the post. Close call for Cale Makar. Horvat digs it out. Here's Horvat centering it. Trying to go backdoor for Jarvis, and that was broken up. Here's Reinhart stepping into his man and knocking him down. Rans up with the puck. Jarvis disrupting that. Gallet goes after it. He scored the go-ahead goal. Here's a centering pass. Wilson in front, and he passed off as well. Back to Taves. Wilson leaves it for Makar. Fires that, and Julien Junka holds on.
Some good chances. Cale Makar activating. He's talking to Kyle Raymond. This is so interesting because Kyle Raymond's the official out in the neutral zone. And first off, Sam Reinhart off the faceoff. That's a good save by Junka, well out of his net. But on this hook right there, Kyle Raymond put his hand in the air to call the penalty. Jordan Binnington was coming to the bench, and then he put it back down after Makar made his shot and hit the post.
Raymond and Christopher Holm of Sweden are the referees for this game. Kept in at the line. Harley sends it deep. Knocked off Wilson's stick. Macklin Celebrini. got taken down there. That will be a penalty. Pierre Crinault will get the first penalty of this game.
First penalty not called on Cale Makar. It was going to be right about now. It wasn't, but the next one will. Canada looking to open the scoring as they go to the power play. Pierre Crinault heads to the penalty box as he gets caught for tugging on Macklin Celebrini on the boards. And on the hip sends him down. So Canada, who are 2 for 5. It was McKinnon in the first game against Czechia. It was Connor McDavid against Switzerland on the power play. And try to open what they hope will be the floodgates with the man advantage.
Crinault in the box, still agitated about that call.
It's timely given the other one they didn't call.
So here we go. Canada has a power play goal in each of their first 2 games. Makar sends it across, and that one, Junka out of the net to get a piece of that. And back comes Bellemare. Bellemare and Texier on the penalty kill for France. And Texier is going to skate back and try and play keep away. Gallet ahead, and he'll send it down. So Makar at the wheel, 30 seconds into the power play, and here comes Connor McDavid. Over the line, that's too far for Crosby. McDavid will get on it first. Now McKinnon. Found it there, but continues on. Back up top to his Avalanche teammate. Rink wide, great pass. In front. And that one just missed. Backdoor for McDavid from Crosby. Almost a break there for Boudon, but the puck slides to Binnington. Fun to watch this group throw it around in the offensive zone. That was a great pass from McKinnon to Crosby and nearly a finish for McDavid. Now back to Crosby again. Makar to McKinnon. McKinnon down low. Reinhart trying to spin. It'll come back to McKinnon. And that was, I think, off the defenseman Gallet. Off the shaft of his stick with an open net. Did Makar keep it in? No. And offside called.
You can't get many better looks than what Canada generated on that power play. Minute and a half gone, no goals, but plenty of golden chances. Sidney Crosby tries to find McDavid. He goes into the net, tumbles over top of Junka, but makes sure not to take a penalty while doing so. Here's Nathan McKinnon. And you're right, Gallet takes the wide open net, goes down low and blocks it. What would have been a sure goal. And with every passing minute, stress to Canada goes up a little bit as they not only want to score to go ahead, but they want to score because they want to score a lot.
I was going to ask you, only 8 minutes in, but at what point do you start to press a little to make sure you get on the board? Here comes Macklin Celebrini. Over the line, Marner. Second unit gets a little bit of time here, but running out of it. Marner takes a look, bump there, and Junka again. Bo Horvat in the bumper spot.
That's where Bo Horvat scored last year at the World Championships. From that bumper spot. And Junka looks solid so far. Good in tight passing. Mark Stone kick it out. Bo Horvat trying to keep his stick loose, but not able to find a corner. Just gets it center-ish of the net.
Julien Henri Miguel Junka. It's his birthday. Mentioned yesterday, he is a dual citizen. He grew up in Spain on a farm on the French-Spanish border. Actually born in a hospital in France. Now he tried to get that through, and it hit Junka. And McDavid couldn't find the loose puck at the side. Wilson comes up with it. He'll fire it back. Doughty shooting, kicked away, rebound, scores! Tom Wilson on the board.
That's Tom Wilson's kind of goal. He needs that to feel good about his game. Forecheck, win a physical battle, and get to the front of the net. He does them all. As puck is worked down right there. As Wilson knocks the cost off the puck, gets it out to Drew Doughty, then turns back to the net. Doughty, I don't know if it's pass off the pads or not, but he puts it down low where Junka can't control it. And Tom Wilson gets his first Olympic goal and a smile. Or his version of a smile.
Well, Joy Cooper does say he can light up the room, and he has certainly been a positive force behind the scenes, and now he's on the score sheet as well. That, by the way, the first assist for Doughty in the tournament. Here's a chance, rebound, scores! And France has come right back on a goal by Florian Douay. 13 seconds later, a stunning return of fire by the French.
The fourth line goes to work at Colt Parayko. That is a terrible pass. Just not very on it. And then he gets back to the front of the net, staring at the puck. Doesn't look for Douay's stick. Gets past his skate. And Douay able to corral the rebound and throw it in the empty net. But just a really tough turnover for Parayko. Kicked it right out to Adamo. And the rebound, similar kind of goal to Tom Wilson. Pass off the pads and a rebound to tie it up.
It's a fourth line goal for France, and the first time Jordan Binnington has surrendered a goal in this tournament. So a short-lived celebration for Team Canada. Back to even in the goal differential. Here comes Crosby over the line. On the move is Taves working in. Marner can't reach it. Knocked away, and Bertrand starts back. Here's Bertrand. He corkscrews himself into the ice.
Got three.
And yes, it'll be Crosby. It'll be Stone. And Taves. Come on, Taves scores. And maybe the shootout's begun. An answer 39 seconds after the French had tied it.
Maybe it is the floodgates. As Makar pokes it out, Cale Makar gets it to Crosby. Crosby kicks it back to Devon Taves. And what's great about Taves here, he doesn't try to overpass. He doesn't try to thread one to the back door. He says, I'm 20 feet away. I got it. I could shoot and score from here. And he goes blocker side underneath the arm of Jumka. And Canada right back in front again.
Second goal by a Team Canada defenseman. Harley scoring against Czechia. So the goals at 8:41, 8:54, and 9:33. And Cale Makar also gets an assist on the go-ahead goal. At the line, Doughty, who got the primary on the first Team Canada goal. It'll be Theodore sending it to Doughty and back. Swung in along the boards, and Sam Bennett on that other side for Jarvis. Cycle back towards Bennett. Takes it off the shoulder and pulls it down. He gets tied up along the boards. Jarvis helping out. Bennett without a helmet, so he has to go off. So Connor McDavid comes on early. He'll change, and Tom Wilson joins him. An outlet here on the right side. DaCosta missed the hit from Wilson. Now France takes over. Bumped back by Johan Ovitu. Ovitu, a former Edmonton Oiler. He couldn't get it out. It's kept in. Swing and a miss, Celebrini. Parayko, a drive wide. Macklin Celebrini along the boards. Skates away from Babre. That one popped up off a stick, and Babre and Belmar get it up for France. Just under 9 minutes left in this first period. Parayko ahead. Here's Harley. Wanted to get it back to McDavid, who I think was going to peel off and head to the bench on a change, and Harley flattens Perret. Thomas Harley. At center. Cut off by Gallet, picked off by Hagel, and Team Canada regroups. Nathan McKinnon calling for it. He's got it now, along with Brandon Hagel in deep. Around it goes to the far side. It's left there by Suzuki. Shot goes wide. Stepping up Sanheim. In behind the net for McKinnon. That was broken up by Gallet. Hagel along the boards. Worked over by Trey. In the corner, McKinnon. One hands to Suzuki. At the line, Doughty. McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon with the shot wide. Suzuki at the side of the net. And Shunka will cover up. Well, a burst of goals there. And Devon Taves shoots Team Canada back into the lead.
Ron mentioned John Cooper's post-game huddle at the bench with Canada. Here's a look at what the pre-game message looks like. These are the game day rooms the players move to just before warm-up. The bigger dressing rooms are over on the practice rink side. They retreat to these for the intermission as well. It is an intimate setting for a coach's address. The message today from Cooper was this game sets up the next one for Canada, wanting to continue to build on the good habits when the medal round begins in a few days, Chris.
They'll get a day off tomorrow. And the qualification round will be the next day. Team Canada a bye into the quarterfinals, winning their group. Should mention, Mike, that goal by France, that's the first even strength goal against Team Canada. Here's a chance here, and Shunka's got that.
Don't want too many firsts for France there if you're a Canadian fan. Is you know what I say is keeping his guys engaged in that goal to tie it up. So important for their energy, for their belief to hang in there. When it snowballs on France, it can get going downhill, but if they hang around, they can be difficult.
That win at the World Championships had Cristobal Huet in goal, and as you saw, he is now an assistant coach for France.
But not the goalie coach, he's an assistant coach.
That's a little, well, you don't see that as much. To have former goaltenders as head coaches.
We played together in Montreal. He always used to tell me what to do.
There's Taves sending it in. After it, Crosby. Unable to redirect that. And here comes Texier. Alex Texier working against Harley in deep. Fired it in front. Bennett picked it off. And now Stone to help out. Up ahead, Horvat. It's a different group here for Team Canada. Horvat's in. Low Horvat. Cycle it back for Bennett. With Reinhardt, the centering pass. And Shunka will cover.
John Cooper continues to tinker with the bottom part of his lineup. He does have 13 forwards to work with. Sometimes it's Jarvis. This time it was Horvat. And it's not just about getting guys ice time and get everyone in the game. I think John Cooper's looking for combinations that give him consistent offensive play from further down. Hasn't really happened yet for Bennett and Reinhardt when they've been together. Maybe with Horvat it can.
Brad Marchand not in the lineup today, and Josh Morrissey, who Ron mentioned, skated earlier and is expected to be available later in this tournament. Bennett turns it back in, swings it around to Reinhardt's side. Following up is Horvat. France with the puck is Ritz, surrounded by two Team Canada players, still battling for it. And that flipped over the glass and out of play.
France has done a good job of staying under control, keeping guys back. The only really clean odd man rush was the Taves goal. And John Cooper knew that this was going to be a tricky game. You go in expecting to win, but also the pressure to win by a lot, which is an unusual situation to be in.
Said he wasn't crazy about the first period against Switzerland.
He didn't like puck management. He won't like the puck management on that goal against either. Look out. Travis Sanheim almost got smoked by Tom Wilson.
And Douay was the intended target. He took a look at Wilson. Douay, the goal scorer for France. He's 6'3", 216. He's usually delivering big hits. McDavid, Doughty, Taves back to Doughty. Both on the score sheet already. That'll be chipped towards Celebrini. Broken up now. Celebrini gets it back. In for Wilson. Devon Taves. That goes deep to the side of the net. Junka gonna reel that in and cover up. So 5.5 minutes remaining here in the opening period. Canada and France.
We have been celebrating the greatness of Sidney Crosby, which is ongoing. And with the assist on the Taves goal, he now is just 1 point behind Jerome McGinley for most points in the NHL era for Team Canada. And a good chance he gets that done today.
At the Olympics, World Championships, 4 nations, Canada is 55-8 with Sidney Crosby in the lineup. By the way, we'll be adding Connor McDavid to that list very soon. He has an assist in this game. So 3-game point streak, 7 points already. The leader in Olympic scoring. Here's Makar, his shot, and that'll get absorbed by Junka.
France, in their own end, really collapses down in the slot trying to tie up the front of the net. So you're going to see a lot of pucks to the point for Canada, and then either shots for rebounds, tips, traffic. If Canada can get some sticks on these point shots, they'll like their chances.
Face off one, and Makar dancing at the line. Got that to Wilson. Gloved down by McDavid. Trying to get it to Celebrini. And pushed ahead Texier. Sends away Boudin and Bertrand. And turned back by Taves. Thierry back in the French lineup. He takes the spot of Enzo Cantagallo, who got leveled by Radko Gudas in the game yesterday and is not able to play today. Here's Hagel looking across, Suzuki over the line. Nick Suzuki in and got tied up there, and Belmar will take over. Hagel cuts him off. Back to the line for Harley. Parayko had Hagel in front, and the pass ramped off a stick. 40-year-old Pierre-Edouard Belmar, actually soon to be 41, the oldest player in the tournament. Inspired to play after watching hockey for the very first time on TV when the Albertville Olympic Games were on. That one almost knocked down at the line by Stone, but out comes France. Fabre's got some speed. He'll play it around to the far side. Perret is there. Fabre gets it back to the line. Look out! Here's a break. Mitch Marner's in. He'll turn, and it's Mark Stone, and he had it slide off his stick. Little Vegas Golden Knight chemistry there.
That would have been such a typical Mark Stone goal. Slow and effective.
Back goes Stone into the zone. Driving the lane, the shot was kicked away. Jumping up with Shea Theodore. Gallet, a right wing pass, and Trey will knock it in. Bennington behind his net does some stick handling. Bennett back around to Makar. Up ahead, that knocked off the stick of Jarvis. Back into the zone, they'll call that offside.
Mark Stone takes the drop pass. Here's Mitch Marner, jumps on this loose puck. He knows he doesn't have an angle, so he's trying to draw both guys in. He's got to stop and kick it back to Stone. Tucks it under the stick, trying to go back against the grain. When Junka was there, paddle down, foot on the post. Not a lot of room for Stone to tuck it.
Junka spends the time with the Chicago Wolves. He plays in Slovakia. Stopped 31 of 36 in the World Championships against Canada. The first time he has faced the likes of Crosby in the lineup, Horvat, Celebrini. Pass ahead, dumped in by Boudin. Wrapped around by Makar. That looks like it almost came out. And a check made, and here goes Team Canada. 3-on-2. Jarvis for McDavid. cutting inside and back across, and he put that one behind Sam Reinhart. Out comes Belmar. Captain of the French team turned it over and flipped right back out. Celebrini charging after it. Puts Bosk in a bad spot, and now Bosk able to get away. Boy, that hustle by Celebrini, you saw it create a goal in the game yesterday.
Got McKinnon out here late in this period like he did last game.
90 seconds to go. Here's McDavid trying to fire that across, and McKinnon was loose, but the puck broken up by Gallet. He'll start back and send it deep. After it is Perret. David was held on to, or is he the holder? As a penalty coming up against Team Canada. Who's it going to be?
It'll be Sanheim when it's all said and done.
And it will be a French power play upcoming.
Number 6, 2-minute minor for holding.
Travis Sanheim, who had not had many shifts in the first period, and been largely playing just the sixth defenseman. And he loses body position on Jordan Perret, who is quick. And McDavid and Perret get all tangled up, but it really was behind the net right here. As Sanheim reaching out on Perret. And so France, trailing just by one, head to a power play late in the first.
They're 1 for 6, but they also allowed maybe the most talked about shorthanded goal in the history of the Olympic Games, as they gave up a 3-on-0 breakaway while on a power play. And nobody can remember ever seeing that at this level. But a chance to tie it here with a man advantage as Alex Texier plays it back. That's OV2 and a shot gloved by Binnington here in the final minute of the opening period.
You see a big Sacha Trey standing in front of Jordan Binnington. He is a large forward to take away the line of sight. So they're just going to park 77 white in front of Binnington and then just sift pucks down there whenever they can and take their chances.
Sacha Trey, 6'4", 214, 38 years of age.
214 seems light in person.
He is large. So Belmar there talking about the goal of this French team to earn respect. I think they did yesterday against Czechia, and that respect will continue here through 20 minutes of play. Pareko wraps it around, that gets past Belmar and down the ice. OV2 kicks it back. Here's DaCosta. Texier. And that's stolen by Stone. Mark Stone's in. Looking for a short-handed goal. Scores! And Canada has a 2-goal lead.
Mark Stone with that great stick in the neutral zone, laughing at his breakaway speed. The guys on the bench are laughing about his breakaway speed. But he was fast enough, like he always is. Texier, tough turnover there. Bosk is trying to catch him. Mark Stone protects it. I don't know, maybe fans on that one as he cuts underneath it, but he gets it above the pad and below the glove of Junka, and that's a huge goal, Chris. Make it 3, just 3 seconds left on the clock. You weren't sure if he's going to get caught. Can he get the shot away? But he is just fast enough to be wherever he needs to be, whenever he needs to get there.
Always talked about his speed, but Boss did not close any ground on Mark Stone. 1956, time of the goal that gives Team Canada a 2-goal lead. So Tom Wilson, Devon Taves, and Mark Stone, the goal scorers for Canada. Shot 17-6 after 1.
Milano Santa Giulia Arena, 3-1. Canada leads France after one period of play, the final action of Group A. Okay, you are looking live at the media tribune inside the building. This is where the accredited press from around the world have all gathered to watch the games here throughout this tournament. You've got print media seated over here, broadcasters here. Sean Reynolds of Sportsnet is seated right down here. In the building, 18 different countries. The commentators are all here on site. Plenty more calling these games off of site. Chris Cuthbert, Jason Murdoch, our statistician, are seated just a little bit down here amongst the rows of broadcast setup here on this side of the building. Chris, over to you for the call of the second.
I'm the guy with the toque that's right under a cooling vent here. I can guarantee you the ice should be fast if it's as cool down there, Mike, as it is up here.
It is much warmer where I am than where you are. I guarantee it. And that's not just because of the action on the ice.
We taped down our notes as well. It's a little bit of a wind tunnel, but to be fair, it's a terrific building. And what a sensational day here in Milano. So we start the second. France is on the power play. And they've given up the shorthanded goal, the fourth of the tournament. A backhand goes wide. And Team Canada clears. That's two shorthanded goals against France in as many days. Louis Boudin winds it up. Drops it down. Late stages as Sanheim gets set to return. At the line, it's sent back into the corner. Boudin's got it. Fired it across. Anthony Reck trying to come up with that. He'll cycle it back. Ritz tied up. Pareko on him. Dropped off here, and Ovi2 with the shot, and it's dumped away, and now a race for it. Junka started to come out, but Perret able to get back ahead of Hagel to make sure there wasn't another Team Canada breakaway.
Celebrini McDavid close on checkers so quickly, almost catch him by surprise.
17 in particular has been noticeable in that department. And a nice call against France.
And you can kind of cruise towards a defender and maybe try to read a passing lane with your stick, or you could just go out on full throttle and try to surprise him with the closing pace. And the only shot that France had on that last power play, this one to Binnington, who fights it off through the Thomas Harley attempted block, and a good save there.
Team Canada had 17 shots in the first period. That's the most they've had so far in the tournament. Makar sends it back across. Wilson sends it down towards McDavid. Here's Celebrini spinning away and giving it back to 97. Already an assist in the game. 7 points in the tournament. He'll look across, and that hit a stick with Makar moving in. Back down the ice. It is Fabre with the shot. Stick side. McDavid takes a bump. It comes to Makar, and now McDavid winds it up. Celebrini, he'll drop it back into the Makar, and a touch pass that Wilson missed. That would have been pretty.
I don't know if Wilson was ready for that one. I thought a shot was upcoming.
Now Makar can't get that to the net, and out breaks Douay, the goal scorer for France. Wilson comes back to reclaim. A lead feed, and Crosby inside the line. Philly checked on the play by Marner. France gives it up, and Stone almost had a gift in front. It'll come to Doughty. Mark Stone can't track that down. Theodore does. He'll move it around to Crosby. Little room there to play it back. Doughty, and a blocker stopped by Junka. Ritz turns back at center. Bruno for Bosk. And now up to Anthony Reck, who sends it down into Team Canada territory. Doughty around. Stone with the redirect. And apparently hit the French player too. And so no icing. Belmar overskates it. Now ahead, and a bouncing puck at center. Knocked off the stick of Suzuki. Pareko chops at it. Hagel, short outlet pass. Suzuki sends away McKinnon. Jumping up to Sanheim. And across, trying to go backdoor to Suzuki.
Shoot that
and
puck.
That just failed to click.
Gotta shoot that puck.
Back the other way, open two. Two NHLers, or former NHLers, there together for France with Bellemare, but it's taken away. And out comes Parayko, rolled inside the line. A battle for that puck. And by Harley. Here's Thomas Harley. Red line and in for Canada. Reinhart looks for a loose puck. Following up is Jarvis. Sam Bennett centers this line. Ritz on the backhand. It'll be kept in by Reinhart. Now a sharp angle across, and that bounced over the stick of Jarvis at the back post. Jarvis after it here against Thierry. It'll come out to Reinhart, the shot, and Shunka stops that.
I don't mind that from Sam Reinhart. French are doing a good job keeping bodies back through the neutral zone and then retreating back to the front of the net. So hard to find passing lanes unless you jump on a turnover like Mark Stone has done all game. That's another little flutter puck that he fanned on. That's his 5th shot. We're just 25 minutes into the game. He has been all over it. Well, this is one way to create some rebounds in traffic, putting it into the pads of Junka.
So he's got the shooting mentality you're looking for here as Team Canada looking for goals, even though they've got a 2-goal lead. Texier, that pass, broken up by Taves. Devon Taves. And now McDavid back to Taves. A little more room for Makar. Up that right flank and deflected in by Celebrini. Brino, a short pass, that doesn't work. Wilson goes down. Boudon, Bertrand, and now a pass for Texier that bounces off his stick. That one flipped, not deep, just inside the line. Makar, a bank pass and a good one to Celebrini. Here's Celebrini, slaloming in front, and a penalty upcoming on a hooking call against France.
A good step through by Celebrini on the bank pass from Makar. Find a way to isolate one-on-one situations.
Number 95 is a 2-minute minor for hooking.
Kevin Bolzon heads to the box. And you get the puck to a blue line with McDavid flying through and then let Celebrini go to work. There's the hook into the hands. Doesn't really slow Celebrini down that much as he gets it to Connor McDavid. McDavid again looks for the extra pass. Not available. So now the power play, which had some really good looks.
Goes on, a great story for France, like his dad playing in the Olympic Games. Although Philippe played in 4 Olympic Games in the IIHF Hall of Fame. There's Darcy Kemper, Brad Marchand, and Josh Morrissey looking on. So that first power play had a few looks, just one shot. As McKinnon digs in. Crosby, McDavid, McKinnon up front. Not even fair. Makar and Reinhart. Here's McKinnon. Working in, McDavid. Stick it back out to center. 40 power play goals in the season in this top unit. Here is McDavid. He tried to sneak that in short side, but hit the side of the net. Crosby digs it back. McKinnon up with it. Perret knocked it away from him. Now brought down by Reinhart, and it'll bounce out. They'll have to reset. Here's McKinnon. Works his way in, wants Crosby on the near side. Can't get loose, and good hand dive by McDavid to prevent that from going the length of the ice.
A very good power play right now for Canada. A lot of one-on-one stuff, not in sync.
Back in, Reinhart loose. Here's Sam Reinhart in behind the net. Had trouble controlling that. They're going to get another clear off the stick of the always reliable penalty killer, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. So just over a half minute for the second unit. That's Marner with the puck. Now Horvat kicks it back. Theodore. Celebrini's on this near side. Marner will play it back to Theodore. Drop stick for Boudon. Down low it goes Stone. Wanted Celebrini, but got it in his skates. Theodore ready. Stone to Theodore. Celebrini and Junka just got across in time. Had a little room there. Now Marner, penalty done. Marner put to the net, and Junka will cover. And Team Canada 0 for 2 on the power play so far in this game. Brad Marchand greeting his fans.
Greatness isn't just achieved.
Delivery of the game presented by Instacart, the winning way to get groceries delivered.
We've been marveling at the star power, but in this game against France, some guys getting their first Olympic goals. Tom Wilson off the forecheck, and a Wilson-like goal. Then offense for the defense, Devon Taves as well. He's kind of trying to get more balanced production throughout their lineup.
Mark Stone has added a shorthanded goal, his second of the tournament. But you didn't like that last power play, did you?
No, first group was just not supporting quickly enough. Almost looked like they were waiting for the other guy to do the work and standing around. France is checking hard. They are battling quickly.
Team Canada now 2 for 7 on the power play. That shot fronted by Ritz. Jordan Perret will send it inside Team Canada line. A little bank pass there. Reinhardt checked on the play, and it'll roll back to Seth Jarvis. And Doughty redlining in. Reinhardt looking for a recovery. It got by him. Sanheim sends it deep. Reinhardt behind the net. Sam Bennett failed to capitalize on that pass. Up ahead it goes, and OV2, a mobile defenseman for France, is in deep. Jarvis trying to get it by the pinching Gallet. It'll come loose for Doughty, and he's got a little time.
A lot of this for France, though. It's like 2-on-2 they play in the neutral zone. And it's getting a lot of dump-ins, but the retrievals haven't been as easy.
Gallet up ahead. Fabre inside the line, knocked off his stick. Now Team Canada will try and jam up that smaller neutral zone. Bounced in, and Harley back together. There's Parayko.
That's good confidence. The same pass he missed before, right on the tape.
Here's a guy that can break that 2-3. A shot! And Harley stopped. Blockers stopped by Junka on a great setup by McDavid. Celebrini back to McDavid. Trying to return it to Celebrini. That denied by Boudon. Green now ahead. Texier waiting for it just outside the Canada line. McKinnon intercepts. 2-on-1. McKinnon a drop. Oh, what a stop! Junka. Makar's got it. Another chance, and that one went wide. Suzuki misses. Down low it goes. Suzuki in his skates. Trying to work that puck loose. McKinnon waits. Hagel on the fringe too. Suzuki continues to battle, and it's played out for Hagel. Now Taves off the inboards behind the net. McKinnon got bumped there. Makar moves up. He'll try and swipe it to McKinnon. Played ahead off Douay, and Texier will clear. So past 10 minutes of this second period, and a stumble by Suzuki. Up ahead Douay, and it looked offside, and it is.
Chances galore for Canada. They got to find a way to put some of these ones in. As first it's McDavid right from his own end on the pop pass from Parayko. The one he missed the first period. Got to get back on the horse. Sets up Harley. Good save by Junka. And then this one, Hagel. I think this one might catch the post. That's a wide open net. You just not trying to miss, but these are the chances Canada when you think about the goal differential, you think about the U.S. playing Germans. After this, you need to find a way to put these in the back of the net.
Shot 6-0 in the period for Team Canada. So currently +4 better than Team USA.
That's enough to keep the Americans interested against Germany.
Yep. In comes Marner with Stone. They'll crisscross. Marner, Crosby. Sent it across, knocked away. Back to Theodore. And he drove that wide with traffic in front of Junka. Knocked away from Perret, but bounced back to him. And now in is Boudon. Perret puts it behind the net. Centered it from Belmar. And Binnington has to make a stop on Charles Bertrand. So it remains a 2-goal Team Canada lead.
There's Louis Boudon of France, who had a pair of goals during that offensive outburst in the second period versus the Czechs the other day. He had this to say after their second loss of the tournament: "We know a lot of these teams don't respect us. We don't really care." Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, this is achieving a lifelong dream for him, representing his country at the Olympics, as Chris alluded to. The tournament for him, in his mind, is to earn some respect back from the other nations, and they're hanging on to the 2-goal deficit in this second period, Chris.
He fully admits, Belmar said, our best player isn't as good as their worst player. But they're working hard to contain this powerhouse Team Canada team so far with under 8.5 minutes left. Second period. And there is Belmar on the puck. Back to the line, Bosk. And across, Ovitu just missed. Belmar's side of the net. That almost snuck through off the back of Binnington. And Team Canada relieves the pressure. Horvat gonna draw a penalty on Ovitu as he tried to get around the French defenseman. So another rep for the power play, Mike.
Yeah, this time they're all rested though. No one's coming off a shift where they're tired. Results in a better executed power play. OV2 trying to hold up Bo Horvat. He keeps his feet moving. Forces OV2 to make a decision. Let him go or take the penalty. He goes down, gets right back up, but the call is made. And this would be a good time for this power play, which has looked so dangerous. Snap one around in the back of the net for Canada.
What do you want to see better?
Well, first of all, entries and puck retrievals. Get to their sets under control. Move a little quicker.
They start with a face-off win. McDavid off the boards. We'll size it up. Crosby alongside of the net. Makar the point man. Makar in. Makar scores! That was lethal, and it's 4-1. "15 seconds into the power play, and Cale Makar has his first Olympic goal."
The advantage of starting power plays with an offensive zone face-off. You don't have to worry about a zone entry because you're starting in the zone. And McDavid isolates Texier. Boudon gets stuck in a little deep, and then once Makar starts walking, freezes Boudon. There's also Gallet, there's Reinhardt, and Junka just can't see it. Look at, eyes up the whole time. He's looking for the goaltender, and he's looking for the seam. Cale Makar, as good at this as any defenseman in the world. Reloads 3 times, getting closer, and then eventually picks his spot, puts it in the back of the net.
A little surprising, that's his first senior international goal. His only other tournament was 4 Nations, a pass that Celebrini just missed. So Makar with his first of the Olympics, another point for McDavid, another point for Crosby.
That put him up top, tying the list of Joel McGinley for points for NHL Olympians from Canada. He was trailing by 1. But you just can't let Makar get inside the top of the circle. Doesn't have to be a slapper, doesn't have to be a one-timer. That wrister is plenty to beat any goalie from that distance.
So +3 in the game. At the moment, Celebrini across, and that shot just missed. McDavid going stick side, now Doughty. with it. Celebrini swings it back for McDavid. Wilson also up front for Canada. Scored 15 seconds in, so McDavid could take the next shift. Celebrini working his way into the middle.
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
Jutka!
Stop!
After a sensational setup from 97. Celebrini looks across. McDavid there, he gets tied up. Worked over by Trey. It'll come back to Doughty and Harley. Team Canada starts to change. Celebrini was going off, stayed out, and got one last shot on. And Shutka's got another save, and he's been terrific.
Well, that stop on Tom Wilson, who's already got one in the game, parking back door, battling for space. He puts it right on the tee. He even elevates it. That is just brilliance from Junka. Hard to get it much higher than that, quicker for Tom Wilson. Just elevate a little bit, but nope. Junka with his best of the night.
Draw, Hagel, he got checked. Out is Ritz with Philip Bozon. Richard Bozon's dad, former St. Louis Blue and a member of the IIHF Hall of Fame. The most decorated player from France. Theodore leaves it. It'll get swung around by Sanheim. French pressure here. As Bertrand took a whack at it. And now Theodore will take control. One shot for France in this period. Here's McKinnon, and it's swung away by Jutka on a pretty hot carom off the inboards. Bosca kept alive at the line by Makar. Hagel trying to get it further in. Around for Crosby. Nice pass, Suzuki. And that off the shoulder of Jutka. Or maybe the mask as he reaches up. And it looked like one of the straps got popped. Cale Makar, first Olympic goal. What a throw for him and his dad, Gary. The only player to do it in consecutive games, Timo Solani, back in '98. And so 2 in this game, and he go 3 consecutive three-pointers. Boy, Jutka denied Tom Wilson, or it would be 3 already.
You start thinking about his great chances that haven't gone in. The Hagel backdoor off the post, Wilson as well.
There's Taves shooting, and that sticks to Jutka.
Junka, what can you say? He's given up 4, but he has been the story of the game for France, as we knew he would have to be. And maybe playing against Canada last year with that star-studded team of the World Championship gave him a few less nerves than he otherwise might feel facing this kind of roster.
Mentioned yesterday, he did start as a goaltender in Spain, actually, and moved to France till he was 13 years of age. Knocked off the stick of Texier. Following up, though, Texier a chance.
The time is 10:01 a.m.
Boudin resets to Crino. Under 5 left here in the second period. Shots now 28-7. In the game yesterday, France, their shot totals 3, 5, and 4 in each of the periods. Here comes Bo Horvat. Jutka, it got by him. It's behind him. And there's 3 French players behind him. And Fabre alongside to make sure that didn't leak in.
That's the second time this tournament we've seen Bo Horvat shot out of a cannon. He had that nice 5-hole goal earlier. This time it's down the wing. Tries for the same move. Good pass, running the tape, and he's in alone. He's going to get that right leg out, protect it, try to tuck it through, and he gets it banging around between the legs, but not clean. Junka finds a way to get enough of it with a little help from his friends. And Junka may have lost a skate blade. He's rolling around on the ice or something. I don't think he's hurt. I think he got an equipment issue. Or is... That's equipment issue. They took the athletic therapist, bring out the equipment man. Now the problem with goalie pads, they're sometimes tough to fix quickly. If it's just a blade pop in, then there we go. That's good hustle.
That's a good pit crew.
It is F1 testing right now. Sign him up.
And he's pretty happy that he was able to execute that job with about hundreds of millions of people watching.
Nailed it.
Horvat on the draw. Top face-off man at last year's World Championships, over 75%. Comes out to center. Horvat bringing it back in with Reinhardt. Bennett, the third member of this unit right now. And out comes the French goal scorer, Douay. Turned over. Here comes Horvat again. And a foot pass that bounced over the stick to Bennett. Bennett leaves it at the line. Horvat tried to get it to Doughty. And Trey with the long reach got a stick on that. Veteran Drew Doughty will dump it in. McDavid after the puck. Sent out to center and played back in by Theodore. And McDavid takes a hit. And McKinnon went after the hitter, and Junka will stop that. So little response after Connor McDavid, who's been dishing out the hits in this tournament, is on the receiving end this time.
Tom Wilson had a word for Bozon as well on his way off the ice. Let's take a look at the blade popping off on Junka. Sam Reinhardt's stick getting the goalie with the pop-out blade. Seems risky for a goaltender. You take a puck off that blade and it comes out.
Just over 3 minutes left here in the second period. A 3-goal lead for Team Canada. Neil Makar, the latest to hit the back of the net. And here's McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon shifting gears. Looking across. Theodore in front. A rebound. And another good stop by Junka with Celebrini on the doorstep.
Junka is a big goalie. And so all these seam passes to the back door, he's getting his pads to.
He's got Celebrini to deal with now. And pulled down.
Penalty shot.
Do we get a penalty shot? Yes. And 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini will go to center ice. Third member of Team Canada to ever have an Olympic penalty shot. Sidney Crosby, 2010 against Germany. Corey Perry, 2014 against Austria.
Anyone could take this. It doesn't have to be Celebrini. And that's an obvious call, clearly. John Cooper just waved off Kyle Raymond and said, nah, kid's good.
Rick Celebrini, dad anxiously watching. What's the kid got this time? Goals in each of the first two. And on the penalty shot, got another. Macklin Celebrini, 5-1 Canada.
It's so great. He's so young. With all these stars, anyone could take that penalty shot. And John Cooper wisely lets the guy who earned it take it. Backhand, forehand, chip. That's the Nikita Kucherov new shot 7-hole. You're intentionally going slow. Look like you're going to go above the pad. You actually go close to the body, inside the blocker and the chest protector. That's a guy who's paying attention to what's happening around the NHL, the shootouts. That's been a new shot that's come of age this year. Celebrini executed perfectly for another big goal for Canada, who still wants and probably needs a few more.
See the whole family with that same smile. We're going to see a lot of that, I think. There's an alley-oop look for Stone, broken up by GX Billy, and Stone took it away. Maybe another chance. Scores! It slides in, and Sidney Crosby has scored. These two goals come 19 seconds apart, and Troy Crosby is on his feet.
Well, for all the great saves and near misses, Canada probably feels like they deserve a break. One to bounce in. And wouldn't you know, it's the captain, Sidney Crosby. Shakshvili brings it down, but the quick stick of who? Mark Stone gets it over to Crosby. He's trying to find Marner back door in the back check. Unfortunately, Fabre gets a poke on it and knocks it past Junka.
And now Sidney Crosby has the most points in the Olympic Games among NHL players in Team Canada history. He has 15 with a goal and 2 assists in this game. Here's another chance, and that sailed high. So now +5. And Team Canada starts to open up what could be an insurmountable amount on the goal differential against the United States. Jarvis behind the net. Jarvis looking for it. Again, the goals at 17-16 and 17-35. The penalty shot goal by Celebrini. Crosby from Stone. Another chance, and that one doesn't go. Reinhardt. Jarvis. Good battle there, and now taking over is Bosk. And Boss sends it down into the Canadian territory. One shot so far, 16-1 the shots. Second period Canada. What was the Biesca over-under?
He said 4. Slipped out of his range right now. But it's not enough to make Canada comfortable for the American game yet.
You're looking for more. So is McDavid. Trying to sneak through there in the final minute. France gets back. Here's McKinnon. Celebrini. McDavid to finish the period. Maybe one more. McKinnon knocked it wide. Celebrini. McDavid fires. That's blocked. It's Celebrini again. Right? Can't slide that through. France is going to play it back out to center. Final 20 seconds of the period. Thomas Harley turns back. Gonna get one more chance. Junka can't reach that. Here is Hagel off the boards. Hagel trying to get to the net. Back it goes Parayko. Into the corner. And the clock's gonna drain. But Team Canada with 2 goals in 19 seconds. 3 in the final 8 minutes. And they expand the lead to 6-1 after 2. The penalty shot, and Rick Celebrini likes the result.
Bellissimo, Italia. Really has been a wonderful day here in Milano, Italy for the final day of the preliminary round of the men's tournament. We wanted to mention this on the weekend that Valentine's Day was celebrated. This is Dr. Laura Benyon of Vancouver and Dr. Ian Auld of Victoria. The two are married. They have come here to one of the most romantic countries in the world, not for vacation. No, they are here to work. Dr. Benyon is the lead physician of the women's hockey team for Canada. Dr. Auld, the lead physician of the men's team here in Milano Cortina. If you're going to take care of Olympic athletes, you have to lead with love, and they certainly do. Canada in good hands between those two, Chris.
And in good shape in this game, Kyle, as we get set for the third period. 6-1, the last 2 goals. Mike, Macklin Celebrini on a penalty shot. Sidney Crosby came 19 seconds apart.
And just 19 years apart between the two of them as well.
Next gen. And for Celebrini, the youngest to ever score in the NHL or at the Olympics on a penalty shot. Here they come again. McDavid, dazzling. And it's 7-1. Welcome to the game, Antoine Keller. as the French change their goaltenders, but not their luck. And the McDavid clan is up and cheering.
Oh my word! There's nothing you can do with this. It's a give, celebrating a go, and poor Jules Bosk, he's skating as fast as he can. He just can't go fast enough. Split the D, and then Keller trying to get to the post first. No chance with that kind of speed. Fresh ice, flat puck, easy tuck, and a 20-second in goal for Connor McDavid, which makes it 3 games in a row with 3 points for Connor McDavid, something that has never happened in the NHL era of the Olympics.
Triple threat, McDavid, his second, celebrating another point. And Tom Wilson gets a second assist. And Keller hasn't even worked up a sweat yet, the 21-year-old who started the first game for France. A 4-0 defeat against Switzerland.
As soon as McDavid gives it to Celebrini, he knows exactly what he's doing. He is just going to split it and have Celebrini throw it into space. And it's just nothing you could do except take an interference penalty. That's your only option.
Just guessing, and Keller can't be happy right now, but one day he'll tell his grandchildren Connor McDavid scored on him right away. Like that's almost like a badge of honor. What a goal. Here's Dubé in, pocket picked. Suzuki comes up with the puck, some good work there, and gets out to center. So we're +6 now on the game, and it means the Americans are really going to have to take it to Germany to get the #1 seed. But after sort of a slow start, they just have kind of been grinding away, but there's one back. Wow, Sasha Trey let it go. That's the 38-year-old who finally got a chance to play in the Olympics, and now he can say he is an Olympic goal scorer.
Certainly put that big body behind this slapper. Sasha Trey comes down the wing, and that's the other part of the equation. We focus on goals for. There's the other goals against component of it. On the fourth line, Adamo kicks it out, and he takes a big swing at that one and puts it right by Jordan Binnington off the elbow and under the elbow to counter the McDavid early goal, back to +5.
That's his brother behind the bench. 15 World Championships, 5 Olympic qualifying tournaments, unsuccessful. Was going to retire, but then France added because Russia was not allowed to take part, and now he has his Olympic moment. Here's a spin around shot, and Binnington reaches back to make sure that doesn't squeak through.
That one sat just underneath his toe. And what a great moment. Sasha Trey scoring for his brother Yorick in behind the bench. Come on, bro, put me out there a little bit more. Great stuff. And that fourth line has actually been pretty good for France over the last couple of games. They play physically, they get in the offensive zone, they bang around. And Trey gets his first of the Olympics.
So it's been an eventful start, and we're going to get more here. And Keller makes the stop on Makar, who was allowed to break in.
Thought he was going to do the reverse side McDavid.
2 minutes in, we've had a couple of goals. And that chance for Makar. 7-2, Team Canada. Favre taken out in the corner. McKinnon. Hagel, one-handed by Suzuki. Not out, not deflected, and didn't miss by much. Texier, and it jumps the stick of Gallet, and back out. Thierry. Texier, both teams starting to change, and McDavid starting to wind it up. Parayko gives it to him. Chip past Perrin. Around it comes to the near side. Wilson lets it go. Kept in by Sanheim. McDavid behind the net. Wilson crashes in. leans on his man. Back to McDavid, trying to ward off a check. Nice play by Parayko. Bump back to McDavid covering, cuts inside and shoots. And Antoine Keller has that.
Connor McDavid has been playing like a man possessed in these games so far. 2 goals, 9 points, plenty of shots, and breathtaking speed. In the game where speed is everything, he is the fastest by a considerable margin.
Cooper said he wasn't entirely happy, not John, but Connor McDavid himself with his play at Four Nations. And has taken it certainly to a different level here.
He's found his winger for the next 10 years internationally, Macklin Celebrini.
Here's Ritz in. Well, it seems to be instant chemistry. Be a pretty good 1-2 punch down the middle if they played Celebrini at center too. But for right now, it's a perfect fit. That batted out of midair by Marner. And Ritz back to get it. On to the left side. Bertrand sends it in. Binnington out of the net. Up ahead, off Horvat. Trying to catch up to it, Reinhardt. Moving up is Theodore. Bennett gets in there, trying to dig it out. Theodore with 3 French players around, and now Bennett on one side, Horvat on the other. And Bennett worked it out. Sanheim. Back around, Keller can't knock it down. Back to Theodore. Here's Sam Bennett. That shot ends up in the corner. Sanheim in deep. Thierry with an outlet. Bozon can't clear. Kept in by Theodore. Sam Bennett, drag and shot. The net got blocked. Theodore to Horvat. 5 minutes into the third. Horvat, Keller with the stop. Back to Shea Theodore. Side of the net, Bennett. Another drive. And they score! Bo Horvat, sharp angle. 8-2 Team Canada.
That's a good goal because that's a 4th line offensive zone shift kind of goal. Not off the rush, not a quick flash, but a grinding possession, attack and retrieve. And Bo Horvat, who's had plenty of looks in today's game, jumps on the short side rebound and tucks it home from a tight angle. But Horvat's been good at getting chances in these games so far, as there is a continual battle for ice time on that 4th line. And that was the best they've looked in the offensive zone all game.
24 goals with the Islanders and now 2 in the Olympic Games. What Drew Downing said he liked about the team so far is when there have been little sags, they've been able to respond. So they give up the goal by Trey, and under 4 minutes later, have a response. But here comes France again. Fabre, Texier, bumps it back to the line, OB2, cut off by Makar. Up ahead, he's passed by McKinnon, he gets it back. With Suzuki, Nathan McKinnon puts on the brakes. To the line, Makar, deflected just wide off Hagel. Suzuki's on it. Here's Makar again, trying to go short side and shrugged out of play by Antoine Keller.
Bo Horvat had a fantastic start to the season this year. Forced his way into the conversation to make this team. And in his efficiency in the face-off circle, and he could be a great second-unit power play guy. Sort of forced the hand of the management group to pick him, and he's showing why. Underrated speed as well, CC. He has been dashing up and down the ice.
That was a spectacular goal in his first Olympic goal with a burst of speed. Here's McDavid. Just under 15 minutes through 2 periods.
That's a lot for Olympic standards.
Yeah, 18:04 is high so far, so he should be past that with ease, maybe in the next shift or two. Puck played out to center. Wilson will regroup it. Here's Sanheim looking for McDavid. Bounced it in. He was in ahead of the puck, and that would have been offside. OV2 the other way. Belmar goes to the front of the net. And that picked off, and away he goes again.
Harley.
Thomas Harley jumping up, and there's Celebrity. Harley, stick lifted as Belmar comes back. OV2 the other way. Looking across, Hugo Gallet steps up. OV2 behind the net. Stone tracks him. Chance there for Parade, and Binnington called upon to make a tough stop. Well, Seth Jarvis back on Team Canada, and his buddies back to cheer him on. More with Kyle after this.
Wondering when Seth Jarvis made the team, and we've got your answer. The most loyal, they're doing the wave here too, the most loyal friend group they've got going. Seth Jarvis's boys here, Lucas, Brian, Matt, Sloan, Lucas, and Noah, who wasn't with the group at Four Nations, but here now. So Lucas, how did you end up here? Give us the story.
I mean, it's been a journey. It was a little bit different than driving that 30 hours down to Boston, but you know, we wouldn't be here without Air Canada. They took care of us, and they made sure that we had smooth travels, and we got to where we are right now.
Because the original plan was to go meet Seth in Raleigh over the course of this break. So what was the communication like with him when all of a sudden he's coming here to the Olympics?
It was chaos. I mean, we would have thought when we were in Boston we would have learned our lesson about travel insurance, but I think that's the theme of our group, is it makes for a better story. So when we found out he was coming here, we knew we wanted to be here, and we just had to figure out how.
Now, your guys' story took off after the Four Nations brilliance. So since landing here in Milan this morning, I mean, how often have you been recognized and other Canadians here saying hi?
It's pretty cool. I mean, just as we're walking by, I'm not sure if fans like these goofy hats that we're wearing or if they notice us, but there's been lots of love, the energy, the camaraderie. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This is a dream come true for everybody here.
Awesome. I'm sure a lot of Canadians will be great to see you throughout your time here. So appreciate you helping on again. For now, Chris, MJ, back to you.
What a bunch of beauties. Wouldn't be surprised they end up running a van, too. Good to have them here. Their characters, and from all reports, Seth Jarvis is big a character as you'll find on Team Canada. OV2 sends it ahead. Texier sends it in. Lofted back out by Stone. Alex Texier has not been able to find his offense yet in this tournament. Crosby, now the all-time leading Team Canada scorer in Olympic competition in the NHL era. Away goes Makar. Take that off the boards. Past Marner. Team Canada changing. Reinhardt comes out with Horvat, the most recent Team Canada goal scorer. Pareko shoveling it ahead. Horvat looking rink wide. Great pass. Here's Seth Jarvis, almost on cue, but what a terrific stick by Antoine Keller. Kyle?
Yes, with the other Lucas now. I mean, you guys are ready to explode on that last rush by Seth, so take us through what you're thinking.
Oh man, I have no words. Seeing him score would be insane. I think we all would have probably jumped off the balcony here or something. We would have went as crazy as possible. I don't have words to describe what that would be like.
Okay, who among the group here are the best travelers? Who are the worst?
Best travelers would be Lucas Fry and Brian Hanna. They have got us through the entire trip, making all the connections, handling everything. Me, Sloan, Noah, and Matt have been kind of along for the ride, but it's been great. It's been great. They're taking care of us this time.
Does anyone here speak good Italian, or how are you feeling about being over here?
You know, I know scusi, grazie, per favore, and that's about it. That's what we're getting by on.
Kevin Bieksa has Italian grandparents, and you're way better than what he can offer from an Italian perspective. Anyway, thank you, Luke.
Awesome, thank you.
Chris.
Perfetto, Kyle. All those guys are good. Wouldn't that have been something?
Timing would have been perfect. Not for the poke check from Antoine Keller.
Sanheim redlining in. Keller trying to knock that down. Keller's looked good in relief here, 21 years of age. OB2 challenged. Stolen here by Celebrini. Look for McDavid in front. And the puck cleared. There's Trey and tried to chip it ahead. Douay might have been loose. Celebrini is loose. And then coming back to make the check there was Boston. Loose for McDavid. 3 straight 3-point games. That blast, that get through or not? There was traffic in front with big Tom Wilson. Here goes McKinnon hopping in. Nathan McKinnon across, scores! Brandon Hagel is on the board, and it's 9 for Canada.
This line needed this. This line has been sort of shuffled around at times, working to find their chemistry. McKinnon comes on and off. Hagel has hit the post already in a glorious chance earlier. And so Brandon Hagel, who's one of the best 5-on-5 scorers in the NHL, gets his Olympic goal. Quick up to Nathan McKinnon, 3-on-2. He tries to draw 2 in, kick it for a one-timer, and good finish by Brandon Hagel. 9th goal is good, +7's good. And this line finding some chemistry, maybe most important big picture for Canada.
Had a terrific offensive year in Tampa Bay with 27 goals, 54 points. Hagel from McKinnon and Theodore at 10:46. Here's McKinnon trying to go all the way. Belmar. Perret sends it ahead. Stefan DaCosta on the ice as well for France, but here's a centering pass, and DaCosta came back to intercept that. Here's a chance for Hagel. Cut off Keller and the post. Knocked down behind the net. McKinnon, he got flattened by Crino, and there's a penalty. And Nathan McKinnon is a little slow to get up, and Crino with an apology as he heads off.
Crino.
Second penalty of the game for Crino. We'll get another look at the hit on McKinnon.
Canada will head to the power play as Pierre Crino picks up a hit for a high one on Nate McKinnon behind the net. The interference, doesn't have the puck here, and he gets him right in his head. The height disparity there, but you never want to see Nathan McKinnon elbow right in the side of his ear, cheek. And so Crino goes to the box, and Tom Wilson comes out here to do a little housekeeping. Here at Edouard Bellemare understands what's going on here. They actually have a pretty civilized conversation, and what Tom Wilson is saying is, listen, you don't want this to go down that road the rest of the game. You tell your bench to, you play hard. You keep your hits under control. As the referees are still reviewing this, perhaps a 5 for head contact and not just 2. It was fascinating to listen, though, to Pierre-Edouard Bellemare and Tom Wilson go back and forth. And they seem to come to agreement.
I was going to say, Bellemare certainly would understand what Tom Wilson is talking about and likely to convey that to the French bench.
Yeah, and it's not quite the same as the NHL, but there is, Tom Wilson starts flying around the last 5 minutes. That's unpleasant for everyone involved. It's going to be just 2 for the interference, I think.
Review. After review of the play, the call on ice is changed. Minor penalty interference.
So what they do is they call it a 5, so they can take a look at it, and they downgrade it to interference. Canada's bench basically just saying it's in the head. You should make it the 5. Face. Either way, Canada do the power play for 2 minutes.
They don't start the A unit. They've got 9. They probably have enough. Any rep would be useful, but that's not the case right now as Marner sizes it up. Stone, Marner, Horvat, Theodore, Celebrini, Second unit is out. And Marner gets it to Stone. Here's a chance. Celebrini scores. Got another.
This kid is so good. So good. Second unit, not too shabby. Celebrini wanted the puck over the weak side. Mark Stone helped get it there eventually. And the shot fake really set it up for Celebrini to then rip it glove side. Good plays under pressure. Marner, Stone, and then it's a little bit like the Makar walk, except he's going laterally, trying to get guys to bite to block a shot, then get to a better spot, fly by a screen. Keller's miles out of the net, but does not matter. Celebrini's got another one.
So Team Canada hits double digits. Macklin Celebrini the first for Team Canada with more than one goal in the game. 9 different goal scorers, 10-2.
We like to see it, spread it all the way around. Another point for Mark Stone as well. And there's the famous release of Macklin Celebrini. It's the way he could shoot the puck and get in the spots where he needs to shoot it like that. Impressive.
Stone and Marner get the assists on the 10th goal. It came 61 seconds after Brandon Hagel registered his first Olympic goal. 4 first-time Olympic goal scorers for Canada in this game. Wilson, Makar, Hagel. I got one more that I'm trying to find.
Devon Taves.
And Devon Taves. No more calls. Wilson at center with 7:20 to go. So they've ticked a fair number of boxes in this game. Here goes McDavid one more time. Passing it back. Harley on the move. He's shot, and Keller's got that.
For the most part, done what they've had to do is Seth Jarvis checking to see if he needs any repairs. Looks like a little damage. Adamo skates through and catches him up high as well. Adamo almost saying sorry about that as well. And it doesn't want to hear sorry. They want you not to do it anymore.
A lot of apologies going on.
It's too little too late after you've hit me in the head.
6'6", 240. Adamo. Wilson went after Crino, sending a message, dropping the gloves. And Crino hanging in. And Wilson desperately trying to get up and get restarted. And he might. Look out.
Now,
well, they'll debate it, but they'll both be heading to the dressing rooms. Something we weren't sure we were going to see. Well, the Team Canada brass looking on. But in a 10-2 game,
I mean, Wilson wanted to go bump Crino, have a word after Crinon's high hit on McKinnon. So he does that off the face-off. Crino seemed to be pretty willing to drop the glove, surprisingly. Just don't see these things escalate like this internationally, even when you want to.
Anyway, it happens in a 10-2 game, but the message gets sent that Tom Wilson's not going to be shy about fighting in international hockey.
He's got to make sure you're eligible to play next game, though. Tom Wilson's an important part of this team. He's Connor McDavid's winger.
Penalties on the play. Canada, number 43, has 2 minutes for roughing and 5 minutes for fighting. France, number 7, has 2 minutes for roughing, 5 minutes for fighting.
So they were going to give them
Game misconduct with the fights.
coincidental minors. Now, in the international hockey, if you get a fight, there's also a game misconduct that's automatically applied, so you don't get to stay in there. So here goes Wilson. The first hit, a little extra shove, and both guys know what's happening here. And now Wilson got his off quickly, and then Kurnow just sort of tugged him down in response to this hot fight. We were wondering if anything like this with Tom Wilson would come up during the Olympics. Kurnow apologized to McKinnon, but that wasn't enough for Tom Wilson. And Wilson, we showed him talking to the French bench. As long as he could play next game, Chris, not a problem.
So the end of this game for Wilson was 7 minutes to go. Something that people anticipated and then felt, well, it's the Olympic Games, it's not going to happen, but it sort of did. Not a full-fledged Tom Wilson bout.
Which I think he is probably pretty frustrated about.
Yeah, there's no doubt he
didn't get to do what he wanted
trying to get
do.
it going again because slip was not in Wilson fashion. So he will not be around for the handshakes. Sidney Crosby behind the net. Centering it, that's off the side of the cage. Stone looking in front. Marner couldn't reach that. Crosby fires it across. Taves. Theodore. Keller looking behind him. Nearly snow angel off the bar. How did that not go in? Theodore again. Crosby from the corner. Watched by Belmar. Taves. Theodore. And now Theodore across. Marner can't get this through. Just wondering if this was the next pair up or whether Cale Makar is getting the rest of the game off with Taves and Theodore together. There's Fabre sending it in. Binnington thought about coming out. Colton Parayko ahead. Brandon Hagel. And turning back is France. Fabre cuts in. Dropping it off and a hit by McKinnon.
Did you see the look he gave him? You hit me, I'll hit you.
And now does some pushing with Gallet.
And again.
And now a penalty coming up as Canada touches up. Keller was headed to the bench. Well, not exactly four nations, USA, Canada yet, but tempers are getting short. And the first fighting majors have been handed out. And Nate McKinnon getting a hit back.
Has turned chippy down the stretch. Tom Wilson gets in a fight. Nathan McKinnon, who was the hit earlier, had nothing wrong with that on Fabre, but you go, Gallet did something to get under his skin. So Nathan McKinnon, the most unusual of superstars, who will do this physically when he's mad, not just continue to play, but get after you. Wasn't the penalty there, but that extra cross check gets the rough for Nathan McKinnon, and Canada has to kill a penalty here, which again sort of matters. Don't want to give anyone up late.
Under 5 minutes to go. Second power play of the game for France. Drew Daniel, he sent it down the ice.
It was that shorthanded goal in the first power play late in the first period that was a springboard for Canada. Mark Stone got that one.
Wasn't quite going as planned until that. Made a 3-1 end of one, and then it got opened up in the second. And Team Canada has a look back. Delmar to Trey. Trey, one of the French goal scorers in the game. DaCosta into the slot, and Belmar couldn't get a stick on that. Stone with a burst and plays it down the ice. Just thinking ahead to if they ever did meet in the final, there'd be no reason for Tom Wilson against the United States to be shy about a fight, would it? It's not like he wouldn't be available for the next game after that.
The guy that'd be fighting would be Brady Tkachuk, which is a pretty lateral move. How many other takers there'd be for Tom Wilson on the American team? Here's another one.
There's another. It's a break. It's Hagel.
Gonna pass it.
And Horvat. And sliding back to break that up was Fabre. Almost another shorthanded goal for Team Canada. Almost another shorthanded goal against France. McCarr's back on the ice. I was going to tell you 2.5 minutes in the third, but he's out there now. Hagel, McKinnon, and a pass across for Hagel. Just broken up at the last second. Ritz over the line. Swung in by Fabre. Ritz broke that up. Douay's in. And Perret, a nifty move. And Binnington with a nice pad stop. And France will go back to the power play as Perret was upended.
A little sloppy here down the stretch on both sides. Jordan Perret's okay, holding his knee, heading off.
Number 8, 2-minute minor, slashing.
Car to the box. Perret did not play yesterday, and it was believed to be injury related.
Good move. I think it's not much of a slash at all there. It's sort of a trip as he fell onto his ankle leg area, and that's where the strain came from. Nothing malicious, just an awkward fall. Another penalty kill to finish off the game for Canada.
Perret, one of the top players in the Czech Extraliga. DaCosta working in. Fired around by Trey. Belmar on it. Whipped that past DaCosta to the line. Ovitu holds it in. Now DaCosta swings it across. Former Ottawa Senator out there with Belmar. Trey picked off there, and it'll get cleared by Suzuki. Probably not terrible in a 10-2 game to get another penalty kill rep. Although this is not as high-powered a power play as Team Canada is going to face in the next week.
And they got to rather just play it out 5-on-5 and be comfortable. Don't want any shot blocks.
Seconds left. Marner and Stone. Fabre to the near side. That gets sent around. Fabre on it. Back here it goes. Adamo across. And Doughty breaks that up and clears. Final minute. And Team Canada, in all likelihood, going to be the #1 seed in the tournament. Horvat get away again. And coming back is Bosk to break that up. Jules Bosk. Late stages of the power play. Makar gets ready to return. Sanheim with the check behind the net. He'll whip it around. It's going to be icing against Team Canada with Makar back on the ice.
All right, so you come out of a game like this, you just want to make sure everyone's going to be good to go next game. Nathan McKinnon is running around everywhere now. Comes out of that collision a little bit limpy. Left leg. Checking something going on there for sure. Staying on the bench though. Another tap of apology. Knee on knee perhaps.
Might have But good just to have him watch the last 5. No icing. Hagel centers.
Someone's got to go on the ice here. Somebody might want to play on the ice.
Oh, they might. Almost got caught. DaCosta cross. There's a shot. Binnington the save. It was almost a replay, although not shorthanded of the shorthanded goal France allowed the other night. And this one is over. Team Canada posting a 10-2 victory. They win all 3 games in Group A. And they are plus 17 in the preliminary round. Sidney Crosby, the all-time leading scorer for Canada in Olympic competition. And Connor McDavid with yet another 3-point game, 3 in a row for him. Macklin celebrating a major story here. The only guy with more than 1 goal, and one of them on a penalty shot, the youngest player ever to score in the Olympics on a penalty shot. Lots to talk about. Here's James.